It didn't surprise me that Friend immediately tried to fight them. The little aliens had taken whatever rational thought he'd possessed in the first place and destroyed it piece by piece. When I first arrived, there had been a spark of light in his eyes. He couldn't speak, but he looked at me as if he recognized me, as impossible as that was. That was why he protected me, I assumed. I must have reminded him of someone. But with each procedure the little aliens did on him, that spark diminished until it was gone, leaving him slack-jawed and empty. Even so, he remained my friend. When the human female, Dani, held her weapon to my head, the look of anguish in his face made my heart break. I understood, logically, why she did it, but Friend had been through so much pain. I did what I could to calm him, to communicate to him that we had to go with these people, his people, as they tried to explain to him. My translator could interpret the common galactic tongue they were using, and I could hear them explain to him that this was a rescue, not an attack. As I said, I don't remember much of our actual escape. There were tunnels and running. There was fighting and the horrible smell of blaster fire that made me think of burned plastic. There was the fear I'd managed to avoid during my stay in that awful prison. Somewhere along the way, Dani was badly injured. There was a male with her named Wolfrex, who obviously loved her, and he broke down on the shuttle back to the bigger ship. They were all banged up, but Dani almost died, and Wolfrex would have surely lost himself if he'd lost her. I'd only known love that deep and that true once before, but it wasn't with a romantic partner. It was with my sister. We ended up on a huge ship, rushed through corridors. Wolfrex carried Dani. Friend hobbled along on his mess of a metal leg. I kept going, somehow, despite feeling like a bag of bones fueled by adrenaline and fear. We ended up in a medical type of room. Friend shuddered. It must have reminded him of the little aliens' lab. There was a jumble of voices, a blur of movement. Firm hands lifted me off my feet and laid me on a bed. It was soft. The first soft thing my body had known since being abducted. A devastatingly handsome face leaned over me. "My name is Jorok. I'm the ship's medic, and I'll be taking care of you. You're going to be okay." Those were the first words that sounded clear and coherent after that harrowing escape, and they were spoken by another one of those gray-skinned, blue-haired aliens. Hevians, they were called. This one had midnight blue hair and eyes of the same shade. His pupils were slits, like cat's eyes. He wore a snug gray shirt that closed at his throat and had sleeves to his elbows, leaving muscular forearms bare. His hands were strong and competent as he ran instruments and devices, none of which I recognized, over my shaking, filthy body. Are you sure about that?" I asked between shudders. "Yes." He laid a hand on my forehead and smiled down at me, and it happened right there and then, like a tidal wave had slammed into me. I fell head over heels in love with Jorok Macarthur. I didn't know his full name then, or anything about him, and I didn't believe in love at first sight at all. But there I was, staring up at him and feeling as if I'd just won the ultimate jackpot. Lights flashed and bells went off in my head. A curling warmth unfolded in my belly. Still, I knew I wasn't the one with the worst problems. "Not me," I rasped. "You have to help." "Don't worry," he said.